Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, I feel my maker. I'm uh, I'm really excited about this lesson on today. During my prayer and meditation time, at first I said to God, I said, Lord, I preached this before. I said, where are we going with this, Holy Spirit? I know the people heard this before, especially in this house. This is one of my favorite scripture readings. But y'all know I gotta be obedient. And so we're gonna take a walk this morning. Let's take a long walk. Yes, we're gonna take a walk this morning. Um, whew. So for those who know what scripture reading we about to dig into, just get ready for the revelation that's gonna come out of this. Um, hopefully we're not gonna be long. I know some of you are off work, cooking. I need somebody to send me a plate in Georgia. I'm gonna be at home spending Thanksgiving by myself, but hey, I'm still grateful. Um, so here we go. And if you can help me be evangelist and share this room, the scripture reading that we're coming from today is Judges chapter 4, verses 1 through 24. Judges chapter 5, verses 1 through 31. First Peter chapter 3, verses 1 through 22. And First Peter chapter 4, verses 1 through 11. We're going to say it again. Please write this down. You got a pen and paper. Judges chapter 4, verses 1 through 24. Judges chapter 5, verses 1 through 31. First Peter chapter 3, verses 1 through 22. And First Peter chapter 4, verses 1 through 11. We will be coming from the New International Version, but whenever I'm led, the Holy Spirit may shift me to the Message version. I think um, we're gonna do the Message in Judges 5, but we just gonna flow. We're gonna go with it. So I may do two scripture readings, one in NIV, one in Message. So I'm gonna give it to you one more time. One more time. Judges chapter 4, verses 1 through 24. Judges chapter 5, verses 1 through 31. First Peter chapter 3, verses 1 through 22. And First Peter chapter 4, verses 1 through 11. Here we go. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Have your way, Jesus. Okay, here we go. Judges chapter 4, and it reads, Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. Now that Ehud was dead. I'm going to just stop right there. I know we just on verse 1. And I don't mean to laugh, but everybody in the house who's been with us for a few weeks know why this part is laughable. because the Lord told us to go back to the beginning, and we started out in Genesis, right? And we don't work that way from Genesis to Exodus to Numbers, Joshua. Now we in Judges. Oh, I can't forget Deuteronomy, right? But here we are in Judges. And the first thing we read again. So in your mind, you be like, they ain't learned yet. My God. But you can't judge them. You know why? Mirror ministry. Think about you. Think about how many times God have told you to do something, you didn't do it. Or you did it, then you went back to doing what you wanted to. So here we go again. So let's take this walk. Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. Now that Ehud was dead. So the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor. Sisera, the commander of his army, was based in Harosheth Hagoyim 3, because he had 900 chariots fitted with iron and had cruelly oppressed the Israelites for 20 years. They cried to the Lord for help. I need y'all to catch verse 3, because you remember the same thing happened when they was in Egypt. They were afflicted. And the reason why God sent Moses, because he heard his people crying out for help. So again, here we go again. My God. Oh, we gonna take this walk. Here we go again. They back in bondage. They're being oppressed. They're being afflicted. And for 20 years, cruelly oppressed. Just not oppressed, but cruelly oppressed. The Israelites were cruelly oppressed for 20 years. They cried to the Lord for help. That's been the prayer past few weeks. We were speaking one word, and that one word was what? Help. So here you got the children of Israel once again crying out to the Lord for help. Let's take this walk. So number 4. Now Deborah, or Deborah, a prophet, the wife of Lebitha, was leading Israel at that time. I want y'all to skip over that, highlight it, underline it, circle it. Deborah, a prophet, the wife of Lebitha, was leading Israel at that time. So she was a prophet, she was a wife, and she was a leader of Israel. Now walk with me. 5. She held court under the palm of Deborah, between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim. And the Israelites went up to her to have their disputes decided. 6. She sent for Barak, son of Abinah, from Kadesh in Naphtali, and said to him, the Lord, the God of Israel, commands you, go, take with you 10,000 men of Naphtali and Zebulun, and lead them up to Mount Tabor. 7. I will lead Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his troops to the Kishon River, and give him into your hands. So Deborah called Barak, who is a commander, and and the instructions was for him to take 10,000 men to defeat Jabin's army. The commander of Jabin's army was a man named Sisera. Okay, y'all just walk me. Verse 8. Barak said to her, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go." Whew, we going somewhere. Verse 9. "Certainly I will go with you," said Deborah. I need you to underline verse 8 and verse 9. Underline, highlight, and circle the word certain. Oh, we going somewhere. So I'm going to read verse 8 one more time. Barak said to her, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go." Now, please remember, I'm going to slow walk this thing because we're going to walk this thing out. Please remember when Deborah called for Barak, the first thing that she said to him, "The Lord, the God of Israel, commands you." This was a command from God. And the first word she said to him, "Go." So you skip down to verse 8. He said, "If you go, I'll go." Okay. So verse 8 said, Barak said to her, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go." 9. Deborah says, "Certainly I will go with you," said Deborah. "But because of the course you are taking," now this is you now, "but because of the course you are taking, the honor will not be yours. For the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman." So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh. Verse 10. There Barak summoned Zebulun and Naphtali, and 10,000 men went up under his command. Deborah also went up with him. Y'all walk with me. 11. Now Heber the Kenite had left the other Kenites, the descendants of Hobab, Moses' brother-in-law, and pitched his tent by the great tree in Zananim near Kadesh. 12. When they told Sisera that Barak, son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mount Tabor, 13. Sisera summoned from Harosheth Hogiam to the Kishon River all his men. He summons all his men. Barak only had 10,000. He summons all his men and his 900 chariots fitted with iron. 14. Then Deborah said to Barak, "Go. This is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. Has not the Lord gone ahead of you?" So Barak went down Mount Tabor with 10,000 men following him. 15. At Barak's advance, the Lord routed Sisera and all his chariots and army by the sword. And Sisera got down from his chariot and fled on foot. My God. 16. Barak pursued the chariots and army as far as Harosheth Hogiam, and all Sisera's troops fell by the sword. Not a man was left. 17. Sisera, meanwhile, fled on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, because there was an alliance between Jabin, king of Hazor, and the family of Heber the Kenite. Y'all walk with me. Now I want y'all to keep in mind because this gonna is a key component in what we're speaking of on today. Deborah is a wife and Jael is a wife. This means something. Okay. So these two women are wives. Okay. So here we got it now where the military, the men of Sisera are being pursued. And he realized, oh, it's a trap. We surrounded. So he leave his men. He leave on foot. He flee the scene and he run the protect his own self. This is the commander now. Left his men out there to fight by themselves, and he left to go save himself. So he fled on foot. Okay, so let's go back to verse 16. Barak pursued the chariots and army as far as Parusheth Hogiam, and all Sisera's troops fell by the sword. Not a man was left. 17. Sisera, meanwhile, fled on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, because there was an alliance between Jabin, king of Hazor, and the family of Heber the Kenite. 18. Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, come, my lord, come right in. Don't be afraid. So he entered her tent and she covered him with a blanket. Uh-oh. He entered her tent and she covered him with a blanket. Pay attention. Verse 19. I'm thirsty, he said. Please give me some water. She opened a skin of milk, gave him a drink, and covered him up. So he's requesting water, but she gave him milk. I need y'all to walk with me. I need y'all to walk with me. And she covered him up again. Here we go. 20. Stand in the doorway of the tent, he told her. If someone comes by and asks you, is anyone in there? Say no. 21. But Jael, Herbert's wife, picked up a tent peg in a hammer and went quietly to him while he lay fast asleep, exhausted. Whew. She drove the peg through his temple into the ground and he died. Here we got this man running for his life. He run into the home, the tent of who he believed is an alliance, someone that will help him, an ally, right? So the woman meets him at the door and she tells him to come. Okay, the woman, she's making him what? Comfortable. He's running, he's scared, he's exhausted, he's hungry, he's thirsty. So here she goes with her smooth, sultry voice, very comforting. She's setting up the atmosphere for him. Come, my Lord. Come right in. Don't be afraid. She knew he was afraid. So she's calming him. She's making him calm. So he did. He entered her tent. She covered him with a blanket. He was comfortable enough to lay down. My God, y'all better walk with me. Kings, I hope you paying attention to this. Oh, we going somewhere. He was comfortable enough to lay down. And so then he say to her, I'm thirsty, he said. Please give me some water. This woman, very smart, very strategic. I'm assuming she may be a mother herself. Instead of water, what did she give him? She gave him milk. We know what milk do, right? So she did not give him water. What she did, she opened a skin of milk, gave him a drink, and she did what? She covered him up. So she's making sure he's comfortable. She's making sure that he's in a position where he can rest. She covered him up with a blanket. She served him something to drink. And what she gave him to drink wasn't even water, it was milk. Oh my God, y'all walk with me. And she covered him up again. And when he was resting, before he dozed off, because at this point, you know, got the milk in his system. He's warm, he's comfortable. He ain't even worried about who out there trying to kill him now, because guess what? He feels safe. Oh, we going somewhere. It's all strategic. He feels safe. He's no longer guarded because he feels safe. He feels safe enough to go to sleep. My God. He think he is with one of his allies, a friend of the king. This woman who has invited him in, she's making him comfortable. He's now in a posture of resting because he's exhausted. So he tell her before he go to sleep, he says, watch the door for me. And if anybody asks you, have you seen me? Tell them no. So now he don't only feel safe, he's comfortable, he feels safe. Now he think he can trust her. Because he know enemies are looking for him. He know that people out there looking for him to kill him. So he in this woman's house thinking she's a friend, an ally, thinking he's protected, thinking that it is all good, but he don't even know it's a setup. You know how I know it's a setup? Because Deborah, you can call her Deborah or Deborah, she told Barak, she said, okay, I'll go with you, but God gonna deliver Sisera in the hand of a woman. Barak had no rebuttals. He just wanted Deborah to go. Okay, no worries, say less. So Sisera don't even know that the direction he was going in, my God, help me get this to your people. While he was running away, while he was leaving his men out there to fight for themselves, he was being directed right into a trap set up by God. Ooh, help me. I don't know who this is for, but your enemies isn't getting away with nothing. Vengeance do belong to the Lord. So here we go. We taking a walk. Y'all just walk with me. So verse 20, Sisera is asking Jael, stand in the doorway of the tent, he told her. If someone comes by and asks you, is anyone in there? Say no. So now he trusts her. 21. But JL, Herbert's wife, picked up a tent peg and a hammer and went quietly, my God, to him while he lay fast asleep. The reason why I'm telling the kings to pay attention, because there's another story in the Bible, and you got to know the difference of a woman who went quietly to Boaz while he was asleep. And my Bible says she laid there at his feet. And when he woke up, he saw her laying at his feet. Oh, y'all do know her name is Ruth, right? When Boaz woke up, he covered her. We going somewhere. What do this got to do with JL? It got a lot to do with JL. Cause Kings, you got to know the difference. First of all, number one, you got to know your position. You got to know your posture. Boaz woke up and covered her. She went quietly and laid at his feet. When he woke up, he woke up. It's in there. Read it for yourself. He woke up and he covered her. So now you got this woman named JL making this man comfortable. He fell asleep in her tent. He entered her tent. My God, you can take that however you want to take it. He entered her tent. He fell asleep in her tent. Now she's quietly approaching him with a weapon in her hand, a hammer, and a peg, a tent peg. So this is not no any kind of peg in her hand. So I want you to understand, you won't have to know the difference between a Ruth and a JL. Uh-oh. My God. That's some free game right there. You need to know the difference. So that was some free game. I hope y'all caught it. 21. But JL, Herbert's wife, picked up a tent peg and a hammer and went quietly to him while he lay fast asleep. A sauce. My God. She drove the peg through his temple into the ground and he died. Now this woman must have some type of strength because she didn't just drove the peg in his forehead. He, she, she drove the peg through his temple into the ground and he died. Now imagine that. A sweet woman said, come on in. I got you. It's all right, King. You good? What you need? Come on, sit down, relax. It's okay, relax. You're safe here. Here's a blanket. Can you give me some water? Yeah, I got you. Go in the kitchen, fix up the little milk, bring it back to him. Uh, Queen, look out for me. If anybody come to the door, Queen, tell them I'm not here. Just say no, I'm not here. Okay, you good? Relax, relax. Cover him up again. It's okay. You're safe. It's all right. Soon as he fall asleep, she quietly approached him with a hammer in one hand, a peg in the other, put the peg to his forehead, and bam! Nailed him to the ground. My God! Sound devious, don't it? She had enough strength to nail him to the ground. Oh, we going somewhere. Let's walk. Let's walk. My God. 22. Just then, Barak came by in pursuit of Sisera, and Jael went out to meet him. Come, she said, I will show you the man you're looking for. I will show you the man you're looking for. So he went in with her, and there lay Sisera with the tent peg through his temple, dead. 23. On that day, God subdued Jabin, king of Canaan, before the Israelites. 24. In the hand of the Israelites pressed harder and harder against Jabin, king of Canaan, until they destroyed him. Oh, we going somewhere this morning. Let's go to the message. We just read it. We just read the NIV. Let's go to the message. Judges chapter 4, the message. The people of Israel kept right on doing evil in God's sight. With Ehud dead, God sold them off to Jabin, king of Canaan, who ruled from Hazar. Sisera, who lived in Harosheth Hogiam, was the commander of his army. The people of Israel cried out to God because he had cruelly oppressed them with his 900 armed chariots for 20 years. Deborah was a prophet, the wife of Lebathah. She was judge over Israel at that time. She held court under Deborah's palm between Ramah and Bethel in the hills of Ephraim. The people of Israel went to her in matters of justice. She sent for Barak, son of Abinah, from Kadesh and Naphtali, and said to him, it has become clear that God, the God of Israel, commands you, go to Mount Tabor and prepare for battle. Take 10 companies of soldiers from Naphtali and Zebulun. I'll take care of getting Sisera, the leader of Jabin's army, to the Kishon River with all his chariots and troops, and I'll make sure you win the battle. This is God saying this to Barak. He said, if you go to this set place, I'm going to make sure Sisera get there, and I will also make sure you win the battle. Verse 8. Here's Barak's response to this. Barak said, if you go with me, I'll go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go. She said, of course, I'll go with you. But understand that with an attitude like that, there'll be no glory in it for you. God will use you, excuse me, God will use a woman's hand to take care of Sisera. I'm going to read verse 9 to 10 again. She said, of course, I'll go with you. But understand that with an attitude like that, there'll be no glory in it for you. God will use a woman's hand to take care of Sisera. Deborah got ready and went with Barak to Kadesh. Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali together at Kadesh. 10 companies of men followed him. and Deborah was with him. It happened that Heber the Kenite had parted company with the other Kenites, the descendants of Hobab, Moses' in-law. He was now living at Sanium Oak near Kadesh. They told Sisera that Barak, son of Ebinah, had gone up to Mount Tabor. Sisera immediately called up all his chariots to the Kishon River, 900 iron chariots. These are the same chariots that was cruelly oppressing the children of Israel. So he called all his chariots to the Kishon River. Whew, y'all walk me. Along with all his troops who were with him at Harosheth Hogayim. So not only do you have all your chariots, you got all your troops. My God. 14. Deborah said to Barak, charge! This very day God has given you victory over Sisera. Isn't God marching before you? Barak charged down the slopes of Mount Tabor, his 10 companies following him. God routed Sisera, all those chariots, all those troops. Remember I said this guy had the GPS. Did you hear what I just read to you? God routed Sisera, all those chariots, all those troops before Barak. Sisera jumped out of his chariot and ran. Barak chased the chariots and troops all the way to Harosheth Hogayim. They went they was going back home. He chased them all the way back where they was living. Sisera's entire fighting force was killed. Not one man left. Ooh, we going somewhere. Meanwhile, Sisera, running for his life, headed for the tent of Jael, wife of Heber the Kenite. Jabin, king of Hazor, and Heber the Kenite were on good terms with one another. Jael stepped out to meet Sisera and said, come in, sir. Stay here with me. Don't be afraid. So he went with her into her tent. She covered him with a blanket. He said to her, please, a little water. I'm thirsty. She opened a bottle of milk, gave him a drink, and then covered him up again. My Lord. 20. He then said, stand at the tent flap. If anyone comes by and asks you, is there anyone here? Tell him no, not a soul. Then, while he was fast asleep from exhaustion, Jael, wife of Heber, took a tent peg and hammer, tiptoed toward him, and drove the tent peg through his temple and all the way into the ground. He convulsed and died. 22. Barak arrived in pursuit of Sisera. Jael went out to greet him. She just murdered somebody. Now she go out and she greet him. She said, come, I'll show you the man you're looking for. He went with her, and there he was. Sisera stretched out, dead, with a tent peg through his temple. On that day, God subdued Jabin, king of Canaan, before the people of Israel. The people of Israel pressed harder and harder on Jabin, king of Canaan, until there was nothing left of him. God stripped the king's military forces. He stripped the king's chariots. The very thing that the king was using to afflict and cruelly oppress God's people. God destroyed everything in Judges chapter 4 is strategic. Even though Barak decided to go another course, y'all walk with me. Even though Barak decided, he made a decision. I heard you, Deborah. I heard what you said about what God is going to do. He's going to put Sisera in my hand. And I heard the commandment that said for me to go. But Barak said, I'm not going without you. I'll go, but I'm only going if you go. If you don't go, basically what he said, I don't care what God said. If you don't go, I'm not moving. Now, that seemed like a slap in the face to God, right? But don't you know God is still in control? And sometimes, ooh, thank you, Holy Spirit. We just like Barak. We heard the instructions. We definitely heard what he told us to do. And sometimes he might send us a leader. He might send it through a sign or something. But we do know it was God speaking. And we'll have it in our mind. I ain't finna do that. For all the Jonahs in the house, Jonah wasn't the only one that didn't do what God said. Barak didn't do what he said either. I know we like to skip over that. Here's a whole general. He was told by Deborah, God is getting ready to put this man that's that's afflicting the children of Israel. He's getting ready to put this man in your hand. He's giving you the victory. And all you got to do is take 10,000 of your men, go to Mount Tabor, wait there. God gonna send him to you, and victory is yours. Do what you do. You know what to do. You've been equipped for this. You trained for this. You're built for this. It's already in you to do. Now go. And he was like, I ain't going without you. I heard you, but I'm not going without you. But here's the part I want you to catch. This was the home stretch for me. This was the part that I said, my God, Deborah only responds to Barak's request. Certainly. I want to stay there for a minute. Oh, we going. You didn't hear her have any rebuttals. You didn't hear her say, okay, I appreciate the honor, King, but God said for you to go. God said he was going to give you the victory. No, her response was certain. You know why she said certainly? This messed me up this morning. I want you to understand what Judges chapter 4 is about. The whole purpose of Judges chapter 4 and that one response that she had. She was certain.